All right, who am I loving? Well, let's jump into it.
Good of you to ask.
Yeah, I'm loving the Rams return to Los Angeles. As someone who lives in Los Angeles, this is going to be fun. It always seems sideways to me that the second biggest market, and not just the fact the city is large, but the fact of what we provide to the rest of the nation, nay, to the world, which is entertainment to be consumed via your television or your laptop or your movie screen, however you wish. Isn't it ironic that, people always say about Washington, D.C., hey, all week people are on either side of the aisle butting heads, but come Sunday, everybody rallies behind the local football team. And so you get that. Up in Wisconsin, they love their beer and cheese. They toil in the making your beer and your cheese. But then on Sunday, they put their feet up and they rally around their local football team. Why didn't we get to have that? Well, now it's fixed.
Now
we have that. Let's talk about a couple of things, because there are a couple of key issues, and I want you to hear me and hear me well, that we must resolve before we take too long. I did get a chance. You may have seen some pictures online as the week unfolded here. I got to meet up. The Rams are back as a team, and then a literal Ram came by NFL media earlier in the week, and I took him around to reintroduce him to some of our colleagues. Well, I'm not going to show you the video today, but next day, the next show we do, next Tuesday, be on the lookout for this. Just a little spoiler alert. It turns out Maurice Jones-Drew and Handsome Hank are petrified of a Ram.
I wouldn't say petrified. That makes
Now,
it sound
you at
weird.
least touched it.
I touched it, but I have had bad experiences with Rams, as you'll discover.
Well, I hope you don't have bad experiences going forward. First thing that we have to kibitz about is, listen, what do we want to call this? Football fandom 101, something like that. The first order of business is, what are the uniforms going to be? I care very deeply about the get-ups that the teams wear. It's hard for me to support a team if they don't look good. Let's start off with the Rams real quick here. Take a look at what I sent out there, and if you're listening along, it is the 70s get-up.
Yep.
And I don't want to confuse that with the 80s one, because this is the gold pants, flat, not shiny, understand. The nicely, ornately striped socks that they wore. The helmet, the key detail there, the gray face
mask.
The navy face mask. And I've talked with Chris Long, who's making the move from St. Louis to these parts here. We'll look forward to getting him in 66 when he arrives at some point. But he agrees, and he knows his uniforms. He and I have put our heads together and agreed. The gray face mask is where it's at. If for some reason they don't like that, and I know Demoff likes these already. He's on record as saying he likes the fearsome foursome get-ups. Let's take a look at those real quick. This is the white.
White and blue.
No gold to be found in these. And while I like them, that's
I don't think that's the Rams.
No, that's the Chargers, but those are grand as well with the black numbers on the side of the hats.
Yes,
I made my case for
pretty.
that. But the white ones,
The white and blue.
no gold. Now I get the concern, a little too colty. Here's my solution. Let's go with the first uniform, the gold, the flat colors, gray face mask, and then twice a year we'll break out the white and blues to honor the fearsome foursome in that era. How say you, fellas?
I'm more of a fan of the white and blues, actually. I think I'd go with that, and maybe just add, because I know that you're a classic, you love your classic uniforms. That's not going to happen. I think we've seen the way that the wind blows, that everyone wants to add a little something. Let's go with the white and blue, and then let's see if we can add something different, something unique to those white and blues to bring.
We have to be very specific on that front, because you say, hey, add some jazzy.
No, not jazzy.
That's when
I'm talking about.
That's when you start getting stripes up the side of the jersey.
I'm talking about maybe around the Ram's horn on the helmet. Maybe you just you trace the yellow around there or something like that. Just something to bring it into a new era.
Black tie behind the glass. Get Demoff and Long in here for a blue ribbon panel to discuss this matter. But we can't go
Makes
forward.
sense.
I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to start worrying about free agency and the draft and everything else before we resolve this? This is issue number one. Do you agree, Harmon?
I like the gold and the blue, and I agree that aesthetics are number one. As you can see, I put myself together pretty well.
You do.
And it's important.
You make the best of a
what I got.
Questionable situation. Go ahead.
That's
You're
rough.
very rude host.
I'm going to take that one to heart. But, no, I think that –
Look, he blushed. He actually blushed.
Yeah, that was because you were rude.
I was wisecracking.
I know, but sometimes that can be hurtful.
It's only my second time here. I can,
Harmon,
if I'm ugly, I'm not getting invited back. That's what I've learned.
That's right. There you go.
Yeah, but seriously, I think that aesthetics are important, and if you can't, you're right, you can't go forward without knowing what you're going to look like. You know, it's like going out on a date and like you're just wearing a t-shirt or something. You can't do that. You have to look good. You have to present yourself well.
Yeah. So I guess we're all agreed. And the irony for both the Rams and Chargers is neither team has ever had a worse uniform than the one they're wearing currently, or the one they wore in 2015. Those are both bad uniforms, and there's so much to work with there. The iconic horns. That was, of course, the first team.
Right.
If you don't know that, that's the first team in the NFL to put a logo on the side of their hat, and it was those Rams horns. Now the Chargers, real quick. I don't think there's a ton to discuss here. The world over agrees. The powder blue
Yes.
with the white hat. Black numbers. Don't do the gold pants, though. Do the white pants to go along with it.
If you're not going to do that, and I agree with you, that's the right thing to do. Let's go back to that the 80s Chargers, which had the blue and the white.
Late 70s, early 80s, the Air
80s.
Coryell
Yeah.
era. Dan Fouts, right. The gold pants.
Gold pants.
They would wear
They
the
were a
white
little
jersey.
ornate. There was quite a lot going on there, but I still like them. And I think if you're going to do that, you go. Remember, Fouts always, for some reason, Fouts had bigger holes than the average jersey had in. You know what I mean? Like the thing that was to let it breathe.
I think a man of his carriage, his jersey was a little too tight, and it stretched those holes
maybe a bit
to the end of what they were capable of bearing.
I'm a medium. Fouts
I
insists.
I will say, though, I'm with you on those Chargers ones. Just remember, and this is what the current Chargers miss on, the current look misses on. The lightning bolt is the pants stripe. It replaces the need to have conventional stripes on it. You don't put the lightning bolt and then bracket it with another stripe. That is the stripe. You get that, Harmon?
I completely agree with you. It seems needless.